Here we are for another Tim Talk. I just talked about personal medicine and gathering it from nature. I want to talk, this one I will entitle Personal Medicine Observing the Wounds to Our Earth. Now, I know that could be a shaky one, right? We don't like to look at wounds, we don't like to look at damage, particularly if we're in love with our planet and we have some empathic abilities to feel what the earth feels, to feel what trees feel, to feel what plants feel, to feel what water feels, to feel what mountains feel, to feel what our earth feels. We often don't want to feel the sadness that is all over our world today. So I've talked a lot about taking in the beauty, but let's talk about this other subject now. If you really want to change the world, you need to educate yourself to what our earth needs. And part of education is intellectual, absolutely. You have to read, you have to study. That's room for another Tim Talk. All the ways to do that. Ask questions, be curious, etc. But another way is to observe the wrongs that have happened to our earth, to take them in as your own personal medicine, but not to let them take you over, not to let them depress you endlessly or make you ineffective in fighting for our earth, or to just make you angry and lose your mind wanting to do violence and crazy things to protect our planet. All of those things that I just mentioned have their place within our being. We do need to feel. We do need to feel anger. We do need to feel sadness. We do need to feel overwhelmingness. We do need to feel how it feels to see something ugly that was beautiful before, that was damaged by humans. But we cannot let it take us over. One way to not let it take us over is to interact with the earth in a happy way. Climb mountains, run the rivers, hike, fish, enjoy the earth. Take in the magic moments, the beauty moments that we've talked about so much. But also take in the moments when you see damage to our earth. All right? So here's an example. Years ago, I saw this book that a pilot had published. He dedicated his life to flying over clear cuts around the world and then publishing these incredible photographs of them. Well, I got to tell you, I'm fairly educated on the planet and what it needs. But when I saw these photographs of North America, and particularly in South America, the rainforest, it blew my mind of what we've done to our planet. I used to drive through Oregon, which is a beautiful state full of wilderness and wild lands. And one of the things they would do there when they would clear cut forests is they would leave a swath of land along roads so no one could see it. And when I finally started seeing these photographs from the air, and not just like in an airliner where you take a glance here and there, I'm talking about really detailed photographs. This man put his heart and soul into it. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. And then when I saw what's happening to our rainforest, recently I've seen pictures. There's this leader in Brazil now who's just a horrible person for the environment. Horrible person. He's literally been responsible, I recently read and saw the photographs, for destroying 10,000 square miles of rainforest. That is the lungs of our planet. Can you imagine how many people lost their homes in that process? Earth people. Can you imagine how many animals lost their homes? How many waterways were destroyed? How long, if ever, the earth will be able to heal that wound? And more is happening every day. It fired me up. Those photographs fired me up and got me more involved than I ever could have been before. I joined countless groups that work to save forests. I talk about it. I send money when I have enough to places that fight for the earth. I try to shop in ways that make a difference for the planet. On and on and on. So I soaked up those pictures that were so painful I didn't let it ruin my life or take me over. I let it motivate me. I let in the pain of it, the sadness, the sorrow, the confusion, and then I let it motivate me. And this is what we have to do throughout our world. If we see animals, like recently, one of the most worst things I could imagine is the Trump administration, 4 days before they left office, took wolves off the endangered species list just for no reason other than just cruelty and meanness. And within a matter of days, the state of Wisconsin had wiped out 213 wolves, many of them pregnant females. Idaho's on its way to doing it. Michigan's on its way to doing it. And they haven't put back the Endangered Species Act with the new administration. It drives me nuts. So I'm calling them. I'm writing them letters. I'm doing what I can. People should go up and protest in those states and march in the woods. We have to let it bring us full circle to direct action, making a direct difference. It's for the wolves. And if you're doing it for the wolves, you're doing it for the planet. In your own community, where it's personal to you, if you see damage to your rivers and your creeks or your parks, if you see an old tree cut or damaged, then find ways to educate people about it. Find ways to protect it. Get involved. And here's the beauty of it. Here's the beauty of it. When you look at, you create medicine moments from looking at damage to the earth, you let it come into you. The beauty of it is you will be involved in making things better, and that's part of your own personal healing and the healing of the earth. It makes you a part of the solution, not the problem. And folks, if you're not helping, you're not much better than those who are cutting the forest down. It's time now to call for action. It's time for people to get off their butts and change the world forever by being involved. It's your earth. It's your children's earth. It's their earth. It's all of it. And there is no excuse to not be involved in making the planet better. So, to wrap up, personal medicine moments are, of course, sunsets, sunrises, beautiful light on mountains, endless views of the ocean, yes. And it's looking at plastic pollution in the ocean, all over the beaches, and picking it up. It's looking at forests from the air and from the ground that have been wiped out and fighting for those forests. It's studying when wolves get killed for no reason other than cruelty and inhumaneness. How do we help them? How do we do it? It's a call to action. And that medicine will live in you, but it won't take you over. It won't ruin your life. It'll make you more amazing. So study it all. Look at it all. Soak it all in, and then go to work for our planet. Oh.